Now, I know you have trusted someone, you have loved someone, you have put your heart in someone, and somebody was your first love. Somebody who was the air that you breathe. There is someone that you could not sleep before seeing them. Oh, baby, I cannot eat before you get home. You have had that kind of person in your life before. And at some point, it became serious that you decided to settle as husband and wife or as partners. And like they say all the time, women commit themselves. Most women do not like jumping from one relationship to another, especially if they find somebody who cares and loves them the right way. And even if the person does not care and love them the right way, women are always patient and having this hope that this person will at some point love them the right way. So yes, you have loved somebody, you have cared for someone, you have put your heart and soul and mind and thoughts and actions and plans on someone before. And you knew that this is my long term. I'm in this for a long haul. How did it go? As a single African single, an African single mom, how did it go? What happened? What did you do? Or rather, what did they do? Now, these are some of the things or some of the questions that we ask ourselves when we go through these experiences. You had put your everything. We are often advised not to put all our eggs in one basket, but when it comes to relationships and marriage, you do not spread your eggs all over the place. You put your eggs in one basket because you're choosing one person and you want to be in this life and in that life with that person only and nobody else. Now, quite a number of single African mothers, when they tell you their stories, you will realize that so many of them were betrayed. But before we get to the part where they were betrayed, so many single African moms are actually going through what they're going through right now because they were married young. It is a common practice in our African countries that girls get married so young. Girls get married before they even understand themselves. Girls get married before they even know what they really want in life. Girls get married before they understand what it really means to be a wife or even a mother. So many of us married young. And if you check keenly, you will realize that 3/4 of the single African mothers nobody ever asked them, do you want to get married? Instead, it was a relationship, and in between the relationship, parents said you need to get married, or somehow between the relationships you got pregnant, and because of the pregnancy and because you're protecting the name of your family and you don't want to embarrass your parents, what happened next? You moved in with this man and you started life as husband and wife. The way things are done in our culture, or the way things are done back in our African countries, actually sets up women for failure. A young girl is pushed into marriage with a baby. You get into marriage already. You are a mother. You are supposed to learn how to be a wife. You're supposed to learn how to be responsible to your husband. You are supposed to learn in the process how to be a mother to this child, to take care of a child, to be an in-law, how to talk to your in-laws. All of these things you find yourself into suddenly without knowing or any form of preparation. And on top of that, if you're lucky to be in a relationship where you get to go back to school or you get to continue your education and things like that, that's a different ballgame altogether. But if you find yourself in this relationship where the man does not want you to move a step out of his house, you're still set up for failure. Because when he decides that he no longer wants to find your presence in that home, what happens to you? But if you decide to go ahead to pursue your dreams, it becomes another challenge altogether for African girls. Most marriages fail because you tried to pursue your dreams and you're considered rebellious. Now, so many of us and so many of you single African mothers that I'm talking to today have found themselves in this situation. You are separated or you're divorced for one reason or another. And if you look keenly when you sit back to check keenly, why did I reach this point? What really happened that led to me getting to this point? If you look keenly, you will be surprised. A lot of it has nothing to do with you. Much of it has a lot to do with inferiority complex, control, and the need to put you down as a woman. So yes, you found yourself in these circumstances. I know some of them are serious cases. You practically contributed to the downfall or the separation or the divorce 100%. That's a different case altogether. But we are going to be talking about how do we move forward? How do we move forward after this? How do we move forward after the separation? How do we move forward after the divorce? How do you pick yourself up after all of this? No matter what happened. He left, okay. He married another woman, okay. You decided to walk out, okay. You could not take it anymore, okay. It was out of gender-based violence, okay. How do you move forward from this going forward? How do you pick up yourself? Because somehow in the process of, because women we don't quit our marriages, we don't quit our relationships in one day. It is not what he did yesterday that made you walk out. It is not what he did last week that made you decide that you cannot take it anymore. No. It is an accumulation of things that have been done over and over and over and for a period of time, because we are very patient, we are willing to forgive, we are always ready to, we always give so many chances. We are always hoping that things will be different another day, things will be different tomorrow, things will be different next week. By the time you get to the point that you're actually exiting, you have had enough. You've had literally enough. You cannot take it anymore. So when you make that move, maybe you were rescued by your siblings out of a violent marriage. Maybe you're rescued by neighbors from a violent marriage. Or you decided you cannot take it anymore because the things that are going on, you're emotionally frustrated, you're physically frustrated, you are psychologically frustrated in this relationship. You've decided you cannot take it anymore and you decide to walk out. Or he is actually the one who decided to walk out on you. How do you pick yourself from there? Because this is the most difficult part, because in the process you lose the version. The version of you that you were familiar with, you had lost it, because remember, you had already put yourself as part of somebody and you are no longer operating as an individual. Instead, you are operating as partners. So how do you walk your step backwards and bring yourself to the point where you pick your individual self and move going forward? So today, welcome back to my channel. We are going to be talking about how to healing after separation or healing after divorce. How do we pick ourselves up soon after divorce? Remember, our channel is a safe space for us to speak freely, to talk our truth, for healing and becoming whole again, to thrive and build ourselves as single African moms. So feel welcomed. Do not feel left out. And please get something from us if you haven't learned anything since your separation. If you're going through divorce right now, just remember that you're still an important person, okay? And some of the things we're going to be talking about will really help you out in the future. So from your own point of experience, you know what you've been through, you know what led to where you are currently, you know how you contributed to what happened, you know how your partner contributed to what happened, and you know the decisions you have made that has made you remain the way you are currently before you ever make a decision to go into another relationship or to remain single for the rest of your life. So first things first, accept that you are hurt. You need to accept that you're hurt, and it is okay. Now, when I say you need to accept that you're hurt, you are accepting that you're hurt not just by your partner. You are also hurt by yourself for the years that you have committed in that relationship, for the years that you had put your effort in that relationship. So you need to accept that you had. Because if you do not accept your pain, then you will somehow try to run away from it. So accept that you had. Do not pretend that you're fine when you're actually not. Women react to pain in very interesting ways. First thing that happens to them, they will cry. Okay? So by you accepting that you're hurt, it is okay for you to cry. Cry the pain. Cry the pain of the years you committed in the relationship. Cry the pain of the betrayal or whatever it is that happened. Cry the pain of the years that you have put in the effort. Cry it out. Accept that you had. It is okay for you to accept that this person hurt you, because when you accept your pain and you validate your pain, then the healing process will begin. Your healing process begins the moment you accept that I am in pain, I am hurt, I have been betrayed, I was left, I was abandoned, I was violently mistreated, I was emotionally mistreated, I was physically mistreated. If you accept all of this first, you are hurt. Then from there, your healing journey can begin. The other thing you need to know, I will mention that somehow it might not be your fault, but I need you to remember that whenever the two of you have been joined together, he might contribute 90% of the damage, but somehow you will have also contributed 10%. So any relationship that breaks, it is not one person's fault. It is never one person's fault. There is the part they played and there is the part that you played. Do not focus on the part they played. Focus on the part that you played and how you want to restructure yourself. How do you want to rebuild yourself to be a better person so that you do not find yourself in another relationship and make those same exact mistakes? So how do you pick your pieces? You need to sit down with yourself and figure out, this and this happened while I was in the previous marriage, or when I was in that relationship, or when I was with partner A. How did I contribute to this fallout? How did I contribute to this breakup? How did I contribute to this divorce? You will have cried out their contribution. And therefore now you bring yourself back to where is my fault as an individual in this relationship? How did I contribute to this fallout? Because if you do not acknowledge your part of the mistake, you will be lying to yourself that you're the perfect person in the relationship, yet maybe you are the major contributor to the failure of this relationship. So it is important that you come back to yourself and find out, at what point did I go wrong? What is it that I did wrong? What is it that I did not do right? Now, when it comes to gender-based violence, in this case, in marriage, I will not in any way blame you. It is not your fault. If you are not the one who was physical in the relationship, then this has nothing to do with you. It is not your fault. So do not blame yourself. Do not try to say it is maybe because I did not warm the food well enough, that is why he beat me up. No. I did not cook on time and that is why. No. When somebody is violent, they're violent, and that has nothing to do with you. So do not blame yourself for somebody's violence. If you walked out because of violence, emotional betrayal, and such kind of things, or cheating, do not blame yourself, because you have nothing to do with that. That is, you must realize that somebody's decision to betray you is not a reflection of yourself, and it has nothing to do with your self-worth. So do not start asking or thinking, oh, maybe if I was better, or maybe if I did things differently, or maybe if I dressed this way, or maybe if no. By the way, if somebody starts telling you how you're supposed to dress in your marriage, remember they found you dressing in a certain way and they liked you because of that. If they're trying to change that, then that is manipulation. If somebody starts telling you to stop being who you are and they want you to do things or be what they want you to be, then they are actually stripping you of your identity and they are forcing you into an identity that they are modeling, not you. And those are some of the things that actually lead to you losing yourself in the process of being in this relationship. So do not hold yourself hostage or try to fault find in yourself. Instead, acknowledge the part that you played. If at all you did, acknowledge the part that you played in contributing to your separation or your divorce. And then try to mend those things by yourself individually before you involve another person. Remember, you are always enough, you are enough, and you will always and forever be enough, whether you find another partner or if you stay alone. The other thing, heal before you try to love again. Heal. When you call yourself to that meeting to figure out what your contribution was, you are trying to you're trying to walk yourself through the healing journey. No, you need to heal first. Do not be in a hurry to fill the void. Do not be in a hurry to jump into another relationship just because somebody separated or broke up with you or divorced you. Don't rush into another relationship. You're going to walk into the next relationship a bleeding person who has not healed yet. And you're going to carry the same wounds that you've carried in the previous relationship, the fears that you've had, the anxieties that you've had. You're going to bring them into this relationship. So it is important that you heal first. Heal before you move into another relationship. You need to heal for yourself. You're not healing for the next partner. Remember, you're not healing for the next partner. You're healing for yourself. Because if you don't, this whole baggage is going to show up in the next relationship. Rediscover yourself, rebuild your self-confidence, reconnect with your peace. Rebuild yourself. Work on your self-esteem. There are those African women who've been in relationships, the previous relationships, where the man in their life kept telling them how useless you are, how ugly you look, how fat you are, or how thin you are. And they are always saying very nasty things to you all the time. If you've gone through such kind of things, you need to work on your esteem. You need to go through healing. And it is important that somehow you need to go for counseling. Because if you don't work on your esteem and you do not work on your confidence and you don't work on your peace of mind, you are going to carry all that into the next relationship. And I'm assuring you that relationship will not work because you will be walking in already wounded and you're walking in with an open wound. Any slight thing that the other person will do will trigger your past experience. So heal yourself before you go into the next relationship. Forgive. Forgive, 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 forgive. I will say it again and again and again. Forgive. You are not forgiving for them to have peace of mind. You are forgiving for yourself. I know I cannot tell you forgive and forget. It is here in your mind, but you have to forgive for you to be able to lock that box. Forgive them. Forgive them for the number of times they hurt you. Forgive them for the years that they wasted. Forgive them for the number of times they called you names. Forgive them for the number of times they made you cry. Forgive them. Not just for you, not just for them. Forgive them for your own sake. It is not you acknowledging that what they did was okay. No. You are letting it go. When you forgive, you are setting yourself up for peace. You're setting yourself up for a new journey. You're setting yourself up for confidence. You're setting yourself up for a new development in your own self. And you are practically telling yourself that I refuse to carry the pain of my past for the rest of my life. Forgive. Okay? Holding on to anger will only keep you tied to the pain. When you hold on to, if I remember what they did to me. Oh, the way they no. How many years are you going to spend talking about that? For how long are you going to carry that anger within you? And you know what anger does to you as a woman? You know what anger does to your womb? You know what anger does to your health? So forgive them. Forgive them not just for you, not just for them, but for yourself, for your peace of mind, for your ability to sit with the other person that you will meet and have a clean, clear conversation without bringing your past to the table. So let go so that you can be free. Then rebuild yourself stronger than you were before. Rebuild yourself. After years of experience with someone and the kind of challenges that you faced in a relationship, when you come out of that relationship, you should be able to reorganize, re-strategize, restructure how you handle things, how you manage your things, how you do your things should be different. So rebuild yourself. This is your chance to start again. It is an opportunity for you to start over. You don't have to start over with a new partner. It is for you to start over from where, like I said, most single African moms were basically married way younger than they were supposed to be married. There are a lot of things you never had to experience in life. There are a lot of dreams you never got to achieve because you got married young. So it is an opportunity for you to rebuild, to start again. Rediscover your worth. Set new standards for yourself. Set new standards. When you're young, you don't have standards. The only thing that is running through your mind is, I love this person and that's it. You're driven by love. That is the only noise in your mind is how much you love the person. So it is important that you rediscover yourself, set your standard, become a version of yourself that no longer accepts less. Become a version of yourself that can say, this is what I want, and if you cannot offer this, then see ya. Okay? You are not starting from zero, remember? You're not starting from zero. You're starting from a very valuable experience. You're starting from various levels of knowledge. You have experienced a lot, you've seen a lot, you've gone through a lot, and therefore it is no longer starting from zero. Now, with that said, let me remind you of something powerful, that you survived what you thought would destroy you. You have survived things that you thought would bring you down. You've survived things that you thought would kill you. You're still here, you're still breathing, and you're still standing. And that means that your story is not over. That means that you're just starting a new chapter of your story. And it is okay. It is always fine and okay to rewrite. It is okay to rewrite your story. You do not want to stick with the previous story about your life. It is fine to rewrite your story. So you have an opportunity, a new beginning that starts from experience, a new opportunity to rebuild your life, to work on your self-esteem, to set your standards, to heal, to forgive, and to move forward. So rebuild yourself as much as you can. Your story starts again. So this time, write it the best way you can. We must agree that healing is not easy. Some days you will feel very strong, and some days you will feel very low. Sometimes you will be tempted to call back the person. Sometimes you'll find yourself texting the person that hurt you. Sometimes you will find yourself falling back. But remember, healing is a journey, and it takes a while. But the most important thing is to start. Start healing. Keep going. Do not stop. Do not think that you will not make it. You will make it. If your healing had to make you move away from home to a different place, the better for you. Heal, walk the journey, see a therapist if you have to, build yourself, rebuild yourself, rewrite your story. Do not expect yourself to heal in one day. Do not expect yourself to heal in a week. It will take you some time. I believe that For each and every experience that you have had in your previous life, you have learned something. And what we have talked about today will have given you a start on what to do or how to handle your situation going forward. Now, if this message touched you, share it with someone who is hurting right now. And please comment, share with us how you're healing, what your healing journey was like. What did you do to overcome the pain of loss, the pain of betrayal, the pain of divorce, the pain of separation? How did you overcome? What are some of the practices or some of the things you did to make sure that you got yourself back and now you are a well-rebuilt person as you move forward? Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. Please be part of our healing community. Thank you so much for listening to me. I look forward to reading your comments, to interacting with you, and learn from you as you learn from me. Thank you so much. Please like, share, subscribe, and see you. Bye until next time.